welcome to episode 2 of the Current Backloggers. I'm your host, Casey P., along with my good friend and co-host, Cody G.
Hello.
Cody, what have you been up to lately?
I made a really big purchase today and I didn't like it.
You haven't told me about this. A lot of stuff we talked about off the podcast, but you haven't told me, so what is it?
Well, I knew it was coming. It's just buyer's remorse has kind of kicked in, but it was a washer and dryer.
Oh, yeah.
At Best Buy.
Yeah, I think you talked about the last episode. Talking about buying it. I didn't know that you did. Went and did it, though.
We did. I looked on Marketplace for a while and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll buy them there. But then going to some stranger's house after talking to them on Facebook for too long and then dragging it out of their basement. Some of them too were like, well, you got to take it up over a hill and I'm not helping you. You got to bring all the help. And I didn't feel like dragging my dad out there and doing all that. So we just went and bought new. Got like a 5-year warranty on it.
So, how much was it, unless you don't want to say the price?
Oh, no.
Because I know those aren't cheap.
Oh, no, especially new.
Yeah.
It comes with a free hookup. It's $1,800.
For both?
Yeah.
That's a lot, but that's kind of what you expect for that, I guess.
Yeah. And it's not a... I don't even know the term for that. It's not like a front loading.
Oh.
So they said it would be more durable.
Yeah.
I got like a 5-year warranty on it. They'll fix anything that's wrong with it or just buy new ones. So yeah, just very expensive. And then a security system will be next. Thinking about going with Ring.
Oh man, if you do that, I'm gonna come to your house so much and mess with that. Do so many dumb things.
They have a whole system now, not just the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's great. There was one I was looking at too that you could buy just an alarm for it, a really loud decibel alarm. That they said too would be really fun to mess with your friends. One of their viewers said, because you could just set it off and it's incredibly loud. For a second I forgot. For a second I forgot we were on a podcast though. I guess that's pretty good though because it's nice and natural. It's what you're supposed to feel like. But I just thought we were just talking just now and it was, well, we're gonna start the podcast soon, but no, it's going right now. Yeah, so just doing that. Tomorrow we sign the paperwork to own the house and get the keys.
Oh. So what's the address? I'm joking.
You know, almost. If you would have caught me about 30 seconds ago before I forgot this was a podcast, I definitely would have said it.
So anything besides that?
After I told you exactly what brand of alarm
I'm
using. Jeez. Yeah, that's it. I went thrifting today and I found some games, man. I found Smash Brawl for the Wii. And then I was like, yeah, I'll take this one. And the guy's like, oh, it's not for sale. I was like, what? Yeah, those haven't been processed yet. And I was like, so I can't buy this? You can come back tomorrow and buy it. And I was like, oh, I'm here now. Can I just buy it now? And he said, so after I finally talked him into it, and this poor lady came up and her job was to sort through the CDs because the CDs aren't with the cases because people steal them. So she's sorting, looking for the disc, and she hands me Ant Bully. I was like, oh no, this is not it. And she doesn't know much English. She's like, yes. No, it's a video game. This is a DVD, and it's Ant Bully. This is Smash Bros. Yes, 68. I was 68. What is that? The price? And then I realized that 68 was the number on the case and the disc. So clearly, just didn't have a disc. So I told her never mind. And then I found Uncharted 3 Game of the Year edition for PS3. I was like, oh yeah, I want that. I don't have that. Modern Warfare 3 or 2, which I haven't played in a while, and I was like, I don't have that either. I'll take that. And there was another one mixed in there. I can't remember. I took them to the counter, and they looked for a long time, and she come back, and she's like, we don't have these. So I don't know if she just got pissed that I didn't take the first disc after she looked for it and just gave up.
They didn't take Ant Bully?
Yeah, so... yeah, I felt like it was in a different reality. Ant Bully, I hadn't heard that in years. Yeah, but I did find Wizard the NES.
Yeah.
Yeah, NES movie with Fred Savage. Which I was kind of excited. It's kind of a rare DVD or a sought after DVD. They did have that.
How much is that?
$2.99.
It's not bad.
No, what? I got some notes. I can't remember. I can't keep up.
I hear you. So nothing else, though? Not that you got to add more. I just want to make sure. You got to say everything you wanted?
Yeah, I think that's all I've been up to.
Okay.
What have you been up to? Did you buy anything?
I haven't been up to a whole lot. Just working a lot. Getting ready to get out of state.
Really?
Yeah, on Friday. So, doing that and
Where are you going?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
Opposed to the other St. Louis. But going to the XFL game there, so that should be fun. And besides that, it's been a pretty normal week. Nothing's really happened. Just working and went to see a couple movies. One of them was Sonic, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm
But
curious.
on Valentine's Day, because there's nothing more romantic.
You watched it twice already, right?
Yeah.
Say Garrett told me.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that. But yeah, nothing really else for me.
So you're going for the XFL. I know you picked a team. I just don't remember which one.
It's St. Louis, the Battlehawks. Yeah.
Battlehawks.
Yeah, they're closest team to us, and they're the only team in the league that doesn't already have an NFL team. So I feel like they're so easy to root for, and they got their NFL team taken away twice. So I feel like it's so easy to root for them.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I chose DC just because of Cardell.
Yeah.
It's close, and I have friends that live there. They've been there a bunch, so.
Yeah, Garrett said the same thing, or somebody did. I can't remember who it was. I will root for him. I want him to do well, but I feel like it's better to pick a team, especially in a league like this, because who knows, in a week or a season, whatever, Cardell Jones is off, and I'm not going to care at all about DC. So I feel like you're just going to rotate through teams every year or every week, depending on how the league goes. So I feel like it's easier for me to root for one team and then kind of root for players like Cardell Jones or whoever's on certain teams.
Yeah. And I kind of get in almost regular sports. Other sports, I get pissed when people do that.
Yeah.
But since Ohio doesn't have one, I'm just like stuck in this weird place.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's fair. Hopefully we have one. And now I'm jumping off St. Louis as fast as possible. And they'll probably be our biggest rival since they're closest, so I'll hate them.
Are you going to buy any gear?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah.
Another thing I like, too, it might be for the other ones, but the XFL games I've watched, DC has a good turnout. Fans seem pretty good.
Yeah, all of them have done well. DC hasn't done any better than any other teams, but it has looked a lot better because they did a smart thing. What I told you, I feel like every team should do of playing in MLS stadium. So they've only averaged, I think, 16,000, which still isn't bad, but that makes the stadium look almost like a sellout, opposed to some of these teams like the Seattle team plays in that 80,000 person stadium, and they had almost 40,000, but it looks half empty when you do that instead of being like if we had a team here and put it in Crew Stadium, that would sell out every game and look crazy. But if you put it in Ohio Stadium, it's going to look like nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like a big part of it is where they put it. And I think that's what they should have done in all MLS stadiums. I feel like it would have made way more sense. And if it really does grow and you're selling out every game, you can always move up from there.
Doesn't Washington also have, oh my gosh, what is his name? Haskins?
In the NFL, yeah. Yeah, the Redskins.
That's funny how they've done that.
Yeah, I hate the Redskins and not a fan of the Defenders, so they're just taking all the players I want to root for.
For sure, man. They got to get a team soon.
Yeah, I'm with you. We talked about a couple of them, but any gaming pickups?
Besides that one, there were some other ones I can't remember now. This is terrible. There was another game somewhere mixed in there. I can't remember, but I had an issue with Game Pass.
Yeah, you were saying that before, but you didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
So I go on to play Ori some more for the podcast. It's like I want to, add something to it, and it wouldn't let me download it. It kept give me the prompt to sign up for Game Pass. And I was like, no, I definitely signed up for like years of Game Pass so I could get the benefits of. I don't know if it was a loophole because Microsoft knew about it, where if you had Xbox Live, you just added Prime or no, oh gosh, Prime. What is that called? Ultimate.
Yeah.
Game Pass Ultimate. But at some point it ran out, and I looked at all my emails, and I couldn't figure out what went wrong with it. It told me it ended in January, and I was like, okay, I guess it ended. I thought I bought more, but I didn't, so I'm gonna have to go buy some, and I'll find some good deals. Like there's like 6 months for $30, I'm seeing, or something like that. Through some shady website though. I don't know if I can trust it.
Yeah, that really sucks though, because that loophole only works the first time. So.
Yep. Really sucks.
Uh-huh.
I thought for sure I thought I was like, man, I think I bought at least 3 years.
Yeah, I think I did 2 years, and you can do up to 3. So I'm thinking about adding another year on, so you can do as long as it's not canceled for.
Really?
Like, until it cancels, yeah.
Something's SOL.
I think so, yeah.
Man, that sucks. I mean, it's okay. I'll support it. And
Yeah.
I think with the loophole, there's no way they're making money. I'd be impressed if they're making money at $15 a month.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. It's something I use, and I like Xbox, but I think it gives me a chance to go back and play more some of the physical games I own. So I actually went and downloaded Splinter Cell for the original Xbox on my Xbox One, so I'll give that a go instead of Ori. Which, I mean, I really don't miss Ori that much. I want to give it another shot, but I don't know what people really saw in that game. Gosh, it feels like a Nintendo game. It's like this little furry animal, and the world was destroyed, and oh my god, he's got a little friend, and we're really cute. And, I can't play games like that.
I hear you. You know me, I said I not try and pick up games really unless there's something that really stands out or a really good deal. So the main thing I've done is I have PlayStation Now, as I told you, which I never had. So I loaded up on downloaded a ton of games on there and queuing up stuff that there's a lot of good stuff on there. I don't know how people are hating on it so much compared to Game Pass. Game Pass is still better, but there's a lot there for PlayStation Now. And so I did a lot of that and downloaded a couple more on Xbox I've been wanting to try. So I know that was one of the things we talked about last time, and you were saying how you're totally okay with that because you don't really care about digital and you're all about physical. And like I said, I feel like I'm kind of in between. I love physical and it is cool collecting it, but at the same time I feel like it's one less barrier to keep up with the backlog, to not have to dig through games, and it seems really lazy. And you know me, I don't care at all about getting up and doing something, but it really, that is just one thing that can stop you from starting a game if you gotta go find a disc. And then on top of that, the biggest thing is if it's not already on there, you run the risk of those awful downloads not getting updated when the disc isn't in there. So it is kind of nice just having digital, even though I do prefer physical. I feel like they both kind of have their pros and cons. But the only actual physical games I picked up was Resistance 1 and 3. I bought both of them for like $6 on Amazon or something. It was nothing.
Oh, wow.
Because that's one of my favorite series, and I don't know if I stopped at 2 or 3, but for some reason, I know why I stopped playing just too many games. Same thing with all this stuff, but I love the series, so I don't know why I didn't go back to it. So I was going to do that, and then when I went and looked, I only have 2. So I'm not sure if I know I didn't get 3, but I don't know why I wouldn't have 1, because I definitely had it. So it was one of those, since I like it so much, I just kind of want to have all of them, especially for that low price. So I'm going to figure out where I was at in the story, or maybe just start over from the beginning and play all of them again. Yeah. Because I love it so much.
Yeah, that story is so interesting.
Yeah. And I can't believe Sony isn't doing more with it. But try and get back to that and see how it goes. So they're supposed to be here in the next couple of days. But that's all from me.
Yeah, I remember the first one being really bad, graphic-wise.
Yeah, it wasn't most impressive graphics-wise. I feel like the gameplay that was so good, and the guns were so much different than anything at the time, even Halo or the bigger shooters. The guns were so much more creative than anything that Call of Duty or Halo or any of them were doing at the time, which makes sense being the creators of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It's just like it looked like a PS2 game.
Yeah. That's why
Makes sense.
I'm kind of wondering. I think I remember the gist of it, so I don't know if I want to start from the beginning or not, or just figure out where I was at if I did beat 2, or if I'm in the middle of 2 and continue from there, and then go on to 3, because I kind of just want to finish it and see what happens, because I haven't had anything ruined or anything, so I don't know what happens in it, which would be nice not just to have something spoiled all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember the intro.
Yeah. Anything you want to add there?
You been watching the TV?
I've been trying to catch up on The Walking Dead. I figured out where I was at in that.
Oh, yeah?
So, haven't gotten too far into it, but I at least figured out where I was at and made some progress with that. And
just hit the mic.
Me and Danielle started Lego Masters, if you've seen that. It's Will Arnett is the host, which is already ridiculous. And it's a reality show, which, I don't like reality shows, but it has some of the annoying things in reality shows, so it isn't the best, but it is pretty interesting. It's about a Lego building contest. They have like an hour to build these ridiculous things that would probably take me like 2 years to try and build, but it's like contests like that, see how you can build crazy stuff. It just started on, I think, ABC a couple weeks ago, but that seems somewhat interesting. I've been watching The Bachelor because of her, as you know.
Oh my gosh, just shoot yourself.
I heard you've been watching it too, though.
I watch it just like riff tracks.
Yeah.
That show is so dumb. It's so dumb. If you watch that show and you think like, oh my gosh, this is true love, just shoot yourself right in the head. That's probably so mean to say, but I hate that show so much, and my girlfriend is just so into it.
Yeah, I was going to say half our listeners are the people you're talking to.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't get that show one bit. And my favorite too is Peter the pilot. He's the new Bachelor. He gets offended and upset when one of the girls is like, "Yeah, I get kind of jealous and I don't like competing with these other girls," and he's like gets upset and offended, and it's like, that's not how love works. Like what is happening here? I'd watch a show where they all get married. They all have to, like a Mormon twist to it. I'd be okay with that.
Did you see the new Bachelor starting up?
Is that show just constantly on all year round?
That's a joke I make with Danielle, and they added a new one. It's
There's another one.
Yeah, it starts in April, so yeah, it's just literally year round, because this one's not going to end until April. There's no way.
Oh my god.
God, I can't remember. It's some famous song. A really cheesy, famous song, but can't remember what it's called, but it's Bachelor, whatever that song is called. It's about them being doing duets together, but trying to fall in love.
What? Like a karaoke?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It looks great.
No, I don't think so. Don't think I'm gonna watch that one. And I think too, when I come upstairs or whenever she's watching it, sit down and start making fun of it, I feel like it ruins it for her too, which is good because she shouldn't be watching it. It's so dumb, dude. It's just unbelievable. Like when Peter had said that, and it's like they cut to these interviews. Oh, I can't even sit. Just thinking about it just really pisses me off right now.
I feel like I'm missing something. There's one other show I've been really liking, but can't remember. But besides that, me and Danielle have been watching the regular show. We always used to watch that together. So we've been trying to get back on that because we kind of fell off, but we never stopped liking it. We kind of just fell off of it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Better Call Saul, the new season's on Netflix, and this is like last month, but I watched The Witcher all the way through.
Without spoiling it, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have notes actually, so I can pull out my notes real quick if you want me to about The Witcher.
It's like Steve from Blue's Clues.
Yeah, man, I can't. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Interfering with it.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Let me find my note. I have notes saved on Google Docs and on my phone. And like I said, also I write these notes like a crazy conspiracy person, so then I read them.
Let me ask you this, if you can say without spoiling, how much does that spider in it?
Barely.
Maybe I'll watch it then.
Yeah, it's a weird chimeran looking spider, so I really don't think it looks like a spider too much. More
Okay.
like a crab.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with it, though, is the story. And I feel like they did it on purpose. You can't tell if it's the past,
Oh, yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
future. You have no idea what's going on. They'll introduce things and people and things, and then I'll be totally lost on it. Like, this person just comes in and they have a magic power, and they're like, boom. And you're like, what is that? And everyone else acts like it's normal. So I think my issue is that I didn't play the games. Because after watching the first season, going back to the first Witcher, I was already connecting things.
Really? That's weird, 'cause,
Story-wise.
did you hear they based off the books and not the game?
Really.
I know the games are based off the books, but I feel like they were trying to pull from the books more.
Because I know he started out submitting short stories to some magazines, how all this started. And one of the first stories is about a princess being turned into a monster. And that's in the show and the first game. So maybe... And I'm pretty in the early stages of the game. And you could tell they come to try to do the Game of Thrones thing where they show instead of tell, which is nice. That's kind of how I like shows to go. But they're not telling. They're not showing or telling enough in a clear way for me. I'm an idiot. So you got to really explain some things to me. Because they're mentioning cities and powers and people and groups. And I'm like, who is this? You got a group of wizards, and what do they do? But eventually it all does come together, and before I was not liking it, and then I finished it, and then I liked it. I feel like the last episode really helped wrap things up, and yeah. Let's see. Oh no, I forgot. I put this note in here. There's a dragon that talks, and it is the worst part of the show. You ever watch these crappy Chinese fantasy movies that are really big over there?
No.
Like, oh, I need to watch those. That's what it reminds me. It's terrible. He just starts talking, and you're like, that isn't. You ever watch the Sean Connery movie where he was a dragon?
Yeah, but I can't remember it.
I can't either. But it's very similar to that. And that movie's like 30 years old. It should not be.
Even in The Hobbit, something that's very high production and recent when they talk in that. Doesn't the dragon talk in that?
Yeah, Smaug.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like that came off really cheesy too.
Yeah, you just need to stop having talking. This one's real bad. I can't wait for you to get there. Then there's some, like, you don't know the... Like, Game of Thrones, I feel like, is dark and gritty, but then there's also some comedy relief, and they tried to do that with the singer, whatever his name is. Throw a coin to your Witcher guy. This is a quote from him. I have it listed here as corny singer says, quote, left my cat, on the oven. And I just put comedy relief, really not comedy relief. I have no idea what that means. I need to get better at note writing but that does remind me the comedy relief is not very good in the show. It reminds me a lot of the WoW movie, like that corny action. Or did you ever watch the Dungeons and Dragon movies when you were a kid?
No.
Oh, those like early aughts Dungeons and Dragon movies. It's very similar to that as well. But then episode 7, I meant to look and see if it's the same director as the rest of the show, was really good. There's some more drama, but there's also little to no humor. And it's more about the politics and the war, which I kind of wish the whole show was based on, and not this confusing mess of I'm not sure in the timeline where things go and what this person means. But yeah, it's just a really cool. The last 2 episodes, especially the last episode, is really good. So I recommend you hang out till that moment. And I want to see if that's the same director for all the episodes. But if it's not, whoever directed the 7th episode was really good. So it's not bad. If you've seen Game of Thrones, if you've seen Vikings, if you've seen The Last Kingdom, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, if you have watched all of those fantasy, highly regarded ones and you like them, and you want to watch something similar, just not as good, watch The Witcher. But I recommend watching all of those first. And there's some Harry Potter elements to it too. There's like a wizard school with kids. But yeah, if you've watched all of those shows and there's nothing less for you to watch, then you can watch The Witcher.
So were you hinting at hating that song? Because I haven't watched it, but I heard that song. It sounded pretty catchy.
Oh no, it's really catchy.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the cat on the oven part, but I'm sure we watched it.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
I need to go back and figure that out. But then I started the Witcher game because of the show.
Yeah.
I have the first one. Oh, and that reminds me, I have some corrections.
Oh,
I said some really dumb things in the last episode that...
Hopefully caught some things I said then.
I did not.
No?
I think you're squared away. I just talk out of my ass, clearly. I have... There's a few things. I think most of my show notes for this episode is just corrections of the dumb stuff I said last episode. Let's see. Google Docs is opening here. It's the slowest thing in the world. Show notes. Here they are. I actually labeled them. Okay, first correction was I said Pokemon Coliseum, and I meant to say Stadium. Coliseum was on the GameCube. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you even saying that, but for me, they just kind of ran together because I loved all of them. But yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. There's only one version of The Witcher on Steam. Remember how I said the director's cut and enhanced edition? It's the same thing. It's literally called The Witcher Enhanced Edition Director's Cut, which is a ridiculous name. Just that The Witcher just doesn't have achievements on Steam. There's a lot of people complaining on there. Yeah, a lot of people are like, why does this not have achievements? Let me see here. Oh, I meant to ask you too. I don't know. I don't see this. I gotta get better writing notes. I feel like I'm reading a different person's notes here. I feel like a crazy person. Spore came out in September of 2008. So actually, when I joined that Spore club, I was actually when the game first came out.
Oh, okay.
That's a dumb correction. I don't know why I said that. So there's 4 games on the N64 for Star Wars because I had to look them up. I was like real curious.
Yeah.
Which ones it was, because you had mentioned the Stormtrooper on the front, which was, see now I've got this messed up. Shadow of the Empire, I believe, was the guy that had the weird vest, and he had the handgun. That's one I remember the most, but there was a lot on there. And then the big one where I really messed up was Call of Cthulhu was not a remastered of the original Xbox One. It's actually a whole different game.
Oh, okay.
Based on the same book. So the prices are still up for the Call of Cthulhu for the original Xbox. That one's a first person, and the new one looks like to be a survival horror game. So they're not even similar. Not even gameplay or nothing. Yeah, so that's all my corrections.
Okay. I know we talked about before about this too. If anybody's listening and notices anything either of us said, definitely feel free to chime in and let us know what we're doing wrong, or if you notice things are not accurate.
Yeah, like when Cody talks out of his ass. I was so excited about the Call of Cthulhu too. I was like, "Do you know what that game is?" That guy's such a douche, and I hated rewatching that. I was like, I couldn't even look at it. I was cringing so hard. I was like, "Oh, do you know what this game is, Casey?" And then I just said something totally out of my ass that was not true and made no sense. So I apologize. I'm sure I'll do that a lot.
You're ridiculous. So what have you been playing lately, guy?
The Witcher.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I started it, and I know people complain about those combat styles, and I'm not a big fan of those combat styles, but I think it's because they're meant to be played on the computer. Like Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox, I can't do it. The first few Dragon Ages, I can't do it. Oh man, there's something about when I have a controller, I expect to press a bunch of buttons, but this game's you just hit one button and then the guy just swings, and it's like RuneScape, like ching, ching, and there's nothing there for me, and I don't like it. But on a PC, for some reason, I could do it, usually because I'm playing other stuff in the background and you're pressing buttons. But The Witcher, totally changed that combat system. And I'm using the mouse version, which I think was added afterwards. I'm not sure. So instead of having like everything binded to a keyboard, it's based around the mouse instead. And you parry and a whole bunch of nerdy stuff that I'm still trying to learn. And I'm sure I'm going to have to keep up with this game because it's one of those things, if you don't play it often, you're going to forget it all and have to go back and watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But I'm liking it. And the story, there's something big left out of the TV show that I'm sitting there like, well, I wonder what happened. And the first game immediately jumps into that. So I think because I watched the show first, it's made the first game better.
I wonder if I'd like the show then, because I don't plan to play the games, because I know, not that they're bad, I just don't think they'd be for me. So I wonder if the show would be worth watching then.
Yeah.
Or if I feel like I'd be missing it.
Because The Witcher, they'll even ask him about it in the show. And I'm like, oh, finally, they're going to explain it. They're just like, it was bad. I was like, oh, man, what happened? And the game jumps right into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing I'm playing right now.
That's it. That's fair. I always make the mistake of trying to focus on too many things, so that's probably a good call. Like I told you last episode, probably having Slade beat by now. And I played more of it, but I didn't beat that. But I guess hopefully I will by next episode, but being out of town, we'll see what happens. I'll probably try and take the Switch and Vita and play some of these games that I always think I'm going to play and then never do on trips, which might happen again. But try and do that. But besides that, me and Garrett got online the other night, and we started with Call of Duty, which Call of Duty is fun, but I don't know. I think it's just not for me. I feel like the multiplayer is better than the last one, Black Ops. What is it, Black Ops 4, 3?
I can't even keep up. I used to be super into those games, and I can't even keep up now.
But I felt like the Blackout mode was awesome, and it felt really, really good. But I don't know if you played the competitive like multiplayer on Blackout. All these names run together now. But to me, I was never the biggest Call of Duty fan, but it was nice to play something different. It was really twitchy like that and fast paced. And Blackout felt like a weird mixture of being fast paced, but the killing take longer, like closer to Halo. So you like sneak up on somebody and be really fast paced, but then you'd have to shoot them more, and it felt really weird. I feel like they fixed it with this one. It feels more like the old style, just run and gun and go crazy. But I don't know, there's still just doesn't really keep my attention. It's fun, but can't do much more than that. And the campaign, everybody was freaking out about. I beat it a while ago before I even started the podcast, but everybody was freaking out about how it was like revolutionized it and changed it. And I thought it was interesting, but even that didn't really do much for me. Have you played Call of Duty all yet? I know you said you got it.
Oh, I don't have it.
I thought Garrett said he did.
No,
Yeah,
I said I wanted to.
Okay.
No, it's one of those ones I'm going to get because a lot of my friends are playing it.
Yeah.
That's one of those games that I keep thinking, okay, it's going to die. And it's just hanging on. It's one of those games I've played since Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, which it's so weird to think about how long ago that was because it doesn't feel that long ago. But yeah, I would love to get it because it just added Battle Royale, right?
No, they haven't added it. They put out some new battle pass or something, and they teased it so everybody knows it's coming, but it's not in there yet, which will also be interesting to see how that works as opposed to Blackout as far as the audience, if everybody's going to leave and Blackout's going to be done. Because I feel like a game mode that giant you can't support in multiple games like you can just regular competitive shooters, but we'll see. I don't feel like any series has done 2 of them like that, so it'll be interesting to see. But we played that for a bit, and then we switched over to Secret Neighbors, that game I was telling you about. That what is it? What is the other Neighbors game? The more popular one? I'm not blanking.
It's kind of like the hide and seek game.
Yeah. Can't remember what the actual game's called, but Not My Neighbor, is that it?
No, that's not it. Let me look it up though, because it's gonna bother me. Something Neighbor, because it kind of flopped, right? Like people thought it'd be the next big thing, and then
I think it did well, but this one came out of nowhere. The multiplayer one, the Secret Neighbor.
maybe it's neighbor. Hello Neighbor.
Hell yeah, that's it.
Hello Neighbor.
And I told you when I sold this one, I didn't even know it came out. I don't know how it came out of nowhere like that. But it sounded like a really interesting concept, like Left 4 Dead.
So I don't know if it's my headphones or what. Hey, can you swing that around a little bit? And then maybe twist it, because it sounds like the... Oh gosh, mind the... Well, yeah, perfect. Look at you. Try it now. Say something.
Is that good?
I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I don't... Wait, say something again.
Hello?
We're having mic problems. It might be the headset, actually. Yeah, I think it's my headset.
Oh.
That's terrible. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Just get really paranoid. Look, glancing, make sure it's still recording.
But that sounded super interesting to do a Left 4 Dead thing, like the 4 versus 1, and sounded really unique. And
is it free?
It's on Game Pass, so not for you.
Right,
but you're not missing much, at least so far. We couldn't even play a game. I don't know. There's plenty of people on there. I thought maybe for a second we were being dumb, but it's definitely something with the game. At first, there's no indicator to be able to invite people. So I was like, oh, it's a game where I had to go into a game to be able to invite people. So we did that. And then he couldn't join, and then that indicator on the menu came back up for me. And then I invited him to the menu, and then it went away for him. So I don't know what's going on with the game, but there's something wrong with it, or we just had terrible luck with it. So we didn't even end up play a game of it, which I was bummed because it seemed interesting.
That does sound really interesting. It kind of reminds me of Giant Bomb, the newest episode of Giant Bomb. They were talking about I forget the name of the game. I was like, I'm never going to forget this because I want to play it. Have you listened to Giant Bomb?
Not the newest one, no.
It's this game where you kind of choose a costume for your character, and you go into this room essentially with them, and you could either choose to split the money or take the whole money, like steal it from the other person. But if you both choose steal, you get 0 money.
I've heard people talk about it, but I can't remember what it is.
Dude, it sounds really fun.
Yeah.
I want to try it out, but I want it to be a multiplayer game. I don't know how we could turn that into a multiplayer game. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm just a really good podcaster right now, real professional.
But after that fail, we went to Overwatch because it's been a while since either of us played that. And that game, I don't play it every day, but every time I do, I don't know why I don't, because I have so much fun every time I play it. So we played that for a good amount of time. And then we switched up to Halo, good standby, the Master Chief Collection. And then that was it for us that night. But I have been getting back into VR. Not that I was ever against it. It's just a harder thing to play every day. Yeah, I think it's that.
Is your phone doing that too?
No, I think it's far enough away.
Oh my gosh. I apologize to everybody. I'm trying to pull up these notes here.
But I started getting back into VR because my computer, I was really hoping to run it, but I know that you had to get $1,000 computer. And Ryan was like, you probably run it. And he did a test, and it showed I could easily run it at
Really?
Yeah, the recommended speed for everything. So then I started getting really excited, but then I started seeing the price of VR on computer, even if you have the computer ready to go. So I'm still thinking about it, but I don't think I can make that commitment, especially with already having PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
So I just keep teasing myself. That's why when you're on my computer, you saw those ads coming up for the VR, because I was looking at it. But
Marketplace?
Yeah, but I just don't think I'm going to do it yet, especially they're talking about this being like the first generation of VR still, and I think the next one's going to be extra crazy. So I think I'll wait, but that got me back into playing PSVR because I already have one of these things, so why am I trying to buy another one?
Yeah.
And I have a pretty good setup for it now, and it works well. So I was playing some Beat Saber because you can't go wrong there to test it out some more. And I played more Blood and Truth, which I don't know if you've seen that at all or heard of it. It's like kind of like an action James Bond movie, but it works really well. And it's literally down to like you gotta put your own clip in the gun to reload it with the VR. And it's just really over the top and a lot of fun. But That's the mistake I'm making, is just stretching across too many games and not finishing anything, as usual. So that's why I need to kind of condense things.
Just some of the clips from those realistic shooters. Just I laugh so hard at them, like the compilations of just derpy stuff that happens in them. Do you have to actually load the gun too? Like pull the slide back and stuff?
No, not that. Just loading the clips, all you do.
Putting the magazine in. That's... And it's a spy game. Is it all shooting?
No. Well, that is... The gameplay's all shooting or interacting with the environment, like grabbing a ladder, climbing up, that kind of stuff. But the cutscenes are all just getting you through that, talking about the action, what's happening.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here, man. I have to get better at putting notes in here. Yeah, VR is one of those things I really want as well, man. But there's a huge barrier to get into it. And PlayStation VR is probably your best bet. Have you tried the military shooter on there? The one that came with the gun?
No, I haven't.
I want to try that one really bad. Especially if you get the attachment.
Yeah.
To where you feel like you're holding a gun. Because I think that's when probably VR shines the most. Especially those arcade VRs where you walk the environment in real life. In the game, it looks like a computer or something with some levers. But in real life, there's actual levers. It's been programmed to be in the exact spot. I feel like that could take the whole next level. Especially those ones where you have the VRs in your backpack and you're walking around. Didn't they have a Halo one like that in Chicago this year?
Yeah, I wanted to go so bad.
Oh, that'd have been fun to play.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that could be like a hint at something that Xbox is working on?
I feel like they have to be, especially having the HoloLens, like their version of virtual reality, AR stuff that they're doing.
It'd be nice if you could somehow combine the two, because I mean, that was cool. Like, okay, you can have Minecraft on your floor, but why would you want that?
Yeah.
I felt like it was weird, gimmicky. But I think secretly they're working on some big VR thing that they're going to announce for next gen. I've said that every E3 since PlayStation announced theirs. That's usually the top thing on my list is like Xbox is going to announce their VR. But Halo VR, that'd be sick.
I'll be down for it.
Kind of scary too. Some of those brutes.
I think the worst part would be getting stuck in the head with a plasma grenade. Just seeing it light up.
That'd be great.
But yeah, besides that, just been wanting to get back to VR because it got me so excited to be able to have it on the computer. But I was like, I can't make this commitment when I have VR upstairs, and I need to play it more. So I started doing that. But
do you think gaming commitments are pretty easy for you?
What's that?
Do you think gaming... well, the reason I bring this up is because when buying the washer and dryer today, I was just sitting there like, what have I done? It's like, I should have just gotten off Marketplace, $1,800. And then my girlfriend's like, yeah, but you would buy gaming stuff this expensive. And I was like, you're right. I'd have no problem if I was dropping on a new computer VR.
Yeah.
So do you think it's easier for you to get gaming stuff versus stuff you actually need?
I think it's easier because it's something to be excited about, even though it's not logical. But I don't think it's something I don't think about at all. Like VR, I could have easily just went and bought one, but at the same time, I was like, this isn't logical and I shouldn't do this.
I don't have that part of me. It's like, yeah, let's get it right now. But for a washer and dryer, something that you have to have, I'm like, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, these are worth more than my car. My car is like $1,000. I just could have bought 2 of my cars. But yeah, it's weird. I can't play video games on the washer or dryer, so I don't like it.
I think I've played anything else besides that.
Yeah, man, this was the point of this podcast, was to be able to play more games.
Yeah.
And it's been motivating for me. Like, I don't think I would have started The Witcher.
Yeah.
I would have played more of Ori if I wasn't a broke peasant.
No, it definitely has motivated me too, and I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I do need to concentrate more on games, like certain games, because not sure what's happening.
Yeah, I can hear it too. This is some high quality. Well, it's gone now. I don't hear the noise anymore. Sorry, everybody.
But I feel like I need to. It definitely has motivated me, but I still feel like I'm just jumping from game to game. When I feel like enslaved, I like enough that I could play it. It's not because I feel like it's the problem with backlogs. People describe it as a job, but it's not a job. I would love to beat that game, but for some reason, I'm like, ooh, I could play this instead and just jump to something else and just keep doing that. Which, like I said, I do think is partly good because I don't think you should make it a job. If something's fun, if you're not beating it, if it's competitive or whatever, I don't think anything wrong with playing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do need to kind of find a middle ground there to be able to complete games that I do enjoy.
Glad I'm not the only one. And I have a really big issue of if someone told me they love this game or it's a highly regarded game, I'll stay with it too long. I don't know if that happens with you.
No, I feel like the opposite because, I worry when people overhype stuff. So it doesn't mean I won't give it a chance, but if I see that it's not that way, even if people say it's great, I'm kind of like Call of Duty, not that I don't think it's good or I won't try it. I still play it, but I don't commit to it. I'm like, that seems perfectly fine, but I don't know where all this came from.
Yeah. Well, with me downloading Splinter Cell is me starting a game series that I know it almost seems split down the middle with Splinter Cell, where it's like espionage, sneaking around. Either you have people that absolutely hate them and they're like, I can't play like that, it's too nerve-wracking. And I think I'll end up being in that camp. And then you have people that just love Hitman and Metal Gear where they sneak around, and I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think those games are bad. I'm just not patient enough for that.
Yeah.
I end up trying to be run and gun. Those games can't play like that.
So maybe next episode I can tell you if I'm one of those people. Because I've never played one.
Oh, really?
Besides messing around here and there in Hitman or these other games, I've never actually tried one, so I'm excited to try Splinter Cell and see what I think.
Yeah, that's why I like a lot of people hate on them because of that, but that's why I like the newer Splinter Cells more because it is more run and gun. You can still play that way, but it's not punished to the point where you can't do it.
Yeah.
And those games definitely were. If you try and play that way, you're done for. But guess we can talk about the free games. So
yeah,
because not that you're missing much, but you would have already missed Fable Heroes.
Oh no.
But that one isn't a big deal. But that's why I try and bring it up each week because, like I said, it just drives me crazy. I know, like we talked about, you say you're all about physical, and if you miss a digital, you don't really care. And I do like supporting physical, but at the same time, it just does drive me crazy knowing I could have had something for free. And I feel like that's a mistake a lot of people make. They're like, I'm not going to play these games, or I'm not going to fill up my hard drive, but you can always just install it or download it and then don't actually install it, and then you'll be able to install it whenever you want. You don't have to always have it on your system.
Yeah.
It just gives you a download list for if you ever want to go back, and that's usually what I do when I go to buy a game. I'm like, do I have this? And then try and see the list of all this free stuff that I just have waiting there for me. And a lot of times it is games I would have spent money on or I want to play, so it's not just no-name games I don't care about, like Fable Heroes.
Yeah, it kind of drives my OCD nuts, maybe. Because in my mind, I know it's ignorant to think this because it's impossible. I'm like, eventually I'll play all of these games. But for digital, some reason I'm like, I already know, like, I'm never touching these.
Yeah.
And they just sit there. Like, I have this massive library of games I'm not touching. And I've been thinking about the fresh start of a new console generation, maybe not downloading anything if I think I won't play it. If it has a physical version, I might try to avoid it. I know that's so bad to think that way because it's kind of wasteful. And I've had issues, too, where discs just stop working or consoles stop working.
What about Game Pass then? Are you not going to do it?
No, I think I'll do it again. I want to support Xbox. It's a really good program. And it's such a good... You can't avoid it. It's such a great value. And it's like your first point when we first got Game Pass was, we all have this game. Like, it's not like, oh, dang it, Derek doesn't own this or Casey doesn't own this. We all own those games. And I want to support them. So maybe.
Yeah, because how are you going to fight downloading the games that way?
You can't. Because it's nice. I have all the Halos up physical. But, man, it's so nice to just click a button. That's going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I do support physical as well, but I feel like I don't do it as strong because I know I have both the Halos too, and I never put them in anymore. I don't even think about that, and that is one less barrier. Like I said, I'd play it way less if those weren't just already on there. Because I'm like, oh shit, I got to dig through those and find them. It's just way easier this way.
I just love putting stuff on a shelf. I don't even know why. Like, somebody was selling Lord of the Rings action figures and Fallout action figures. And I was scrolling through there, and I was like, oh, I really need these. Like, I had this overwhelming, like, I need these right now. And I started thinking, like, why do I have this strong feeling of really needing these right now? And my mind goes to putting them on the shelf. Because eventually I want to have a game room where I'm really like, look at this. And that's where my mind goes, is I can't do that with digital. So that's probably my biggest thing.
No, I hear you.
I love the convenience of digital.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
So, this one gets me every time. The free games, so you don't miss them this time on Xbox. The TT Isles of Man. And that one's going to be gone the 29th.
Is it BMX?
Oh, yeah. Well, not BMX. What do you call it? Like motorcycles.
It's motor.
Yeah.
Do we ever look up and figure out why it's called TT?
I didn't.
You know what? Let me do that right now. You go ahead, keep telling us about the free ones as I hit the mic again.
And then Star Wars Battlefront also leaves on the 29th. I think that's the original Xbox. And then, yeah. And then Call of Cthulhu. Oh, that one was gone on the 15th, so.
Do you know about that game?
Or March 15th, so you're safe on that one. Do I know about it?
Yeah, I can tell you all about that game.
No, thank you. And then PlayStation Plus, which is much better, at least this week. I'm not saying it's a program. The BioShock collection, which I told you off camera last week. I felt like I kind of rushed things and didn't talk about it, and because it can wait, but that's the whole point of doing a podcast. If you haven't played the BioShock collection, you need to do it. It's worth $60. It was worth getting all those games separate for $60, let alone all of them together, remastered with 3 trophy list or achievement list. And then, if you don't get it for free, is obviously just the biggest steal of all time. BioShock 1, I feel like has one of the best stories in any media ever. Books, games, movies, and one of the coolest worlds I've ever seen. And it sucks that it's contained to games. I know a lot of people hate on it being a movie, but I'd actually love to see it become a movie because I feel like that story, if it was in any other media, would be talked about for decades and decades. But since it's contained to games, all of us, the people that play it, like it and think it's cool, but all these people that don't look at games as a media or a form of art or whatever just has no chance of experiencing something that people would never shut up about if it was in a movie or a book.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think when it came out, two games weren't. They're more looked at like an art, but I think even 07.
Yeah, same year Halo 3. That was like the craziest year in gaming ever.
That's a really good. I'm sure there's some other games too that came out that year that we're not thinking about. But that's got
Mass
really
Effect.
Good. Mass Effect.
Yeah,
that's a big year. So TT Isle of Man, right on the edge. There's a race called TT Isle of Man. I really hope that's not an English speaker that named that. So it's named after a race is where that comes from.
Okay.
I still don't like TT.
Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
And then you get the second one, which the story isn't as strong, but I feel like a lot of people ignored it because it was a different developer. But I feel like the story is still well done. It's just not as crazy and not these twists like the first one had. And the gameplay, I feel like, is definitely improved, but since it doesn't have that one thing, people ignore it. And then Infinite, I feel like, kind of combines both of them. The story is amazing, and the gameplay is by far the best it's ever been. And obviously, the graphics are best, but that's kind of just without saying.
Now, didn't you tell me, too, that I've only played the first one. The second one has better controls?
Yeah.
It's not as stiff?
Yeah, definitely. It's more fluid, and like I said, well, by default, the graphics are better, but also the gameplay is much better than the first one.
Which is my only gripe with the first one.
Yeah.
As it feels. Which is kind of cool because it kind of gives more of like an RPG feel where you're really planning stuff out. You're not just shooting and blowing up stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt like the first one, too, there was a lot of things I didn't use.
Oh, like yeah, definitely.
Electric and shotguns.
Yeah.
It's really all I used.
Yeah, I feel like as the series goes on, they encourage you to use more and give you a reason to. But you get that one, The Sims 4, and Firewall 0 Hour on PSVR, which I told you last week. I was excited for that. I definitely thought that was a different game. I owned that game already, so I was a little sad.
Oh, man.
That's a game You should try when you're over here. It's like Rainbow Six Siege, but with VR, and it's super well done. It's all online, and it's really well done how they do it.
Is this the game I might have been talking about earlier?
How was it? I didn't think you were. I mean, thought about that game, but I thought you must have been talking about something else.
Let me look it up and see, because it came bundled with a gun.
I thought you were talking about Farpoint, but maybe they did
Maybe it is Farpoint.
They might have done a bundle with Firewall as well.
It is I'm thinking of Farpoint.
Yeah, that game looked
No,
interesting.
no. I'm sorry, Firewall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have the gun, but even without it, it's a lot of fun.
Have you seen some of the guns for Oculus?
Yeah.
Whoa. I
Um,
want an Oculus.
yeah. So, I saved a couple random things to talk to you about. Did you hear what Harrison Ford said when he was asked to weigh in on a debate about Force Ghost and the Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know what a Force Ghost is.
Did you hear? Are you guessing or?
No, I did hear.
Oh, okay. Well, it was worse than that. He said,
No.
"I have no fucking idea what a Force Ghost is, and I don't care."
I love just how little he cares, man. That's a good way to look at it. These nerds sometimes get really annoying. Like, why would you ask him that? So, what do you think about the Force Ghost? Dude, shut up. What? That's what I like the most about him is he messes with those interviewers, and they're just so fake. But they're all dressed up, like, they're texting their mom, like, "Oh, today I'm interviewing Harrison Ford." And he's just like, and you got to think for years he's answered those questions. You remember the TV Guide channel?
Yeah.
With all those dumb interviews they had all the time. So what did you think when you're making the Shrek? And then Mike Myers like, "Oh, it was great." Like, who watches those? Who's like, "Oh man, I don't know if I should go watch the new Star Wars. I think I have to watch the Harrison Ford interview first before I watch it." It's almost archaic to use that. And have you ever seen Iron Man do some interviews? I feel like he does really good with
Robert
those
Downey Jr.
Yeah. I hate them, and they're so fake, and the cameras and the graphics that they use. I just don't like it. Sorry, that's really off the wall, but I'm really happy that he messes within those.
Yeah.
Like the time where he's like, "You're in my chair. You're in my life." Because he's gone senile. I love it.
So the next thing I was going to talk about was Sonic. You said you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I want to go deeper into it, but I feel like we should wait till you see it because I don't want to be that guy that ruins it all for you.
Okay.
But I think I can say some stuff without spoiling it. I think it's really well done, actually, and super enjoyable. Hence why I saw it twice. But the remodel definitely helped it. I don't know if I could have watched that movie with the other one, especially all these parts that were done so well. I was having like flashbacks to what he would have looked like, and just these scenes would have been horrifying to see him like that. I think the movie obviously would have been about the same quality, but I think it would have been so distracting to see it that way.
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely have to know what you're getting into. If you go in there expecting some award-winning movie and some like Oscar snob, you're going to think it's a absolute train wreck. But if you go into it expecting it to be a fun, over-the-top movie, you'll have a lot of fun. And if you don't go in with that mindset, then that's kind of on you. It's about a movie about a hedgehog with extreme speed. So if you're expecting something serious and deep, then I don't really know if you're watching the right movie.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. I saw some articles online that it's the biggest opening for a video game movie ever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. There was they projected it to be $45 million, and it made over $75 million.
Holy cow! Now is that bigger than Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, that was at $68 million.
Holy cow!
A lot of people are saying a lot of people were saying it's better than Detective Pikachu. I definitely don't think it's that good at all, but I love Detective Pikachu, so that's not a knock against Sonic. But yeah, money wise, it's already doing better. And yeah, it's kind of shocking that it's doing that well.
Shocking, I get it. Detective Pikachu. Let me look up. Do you happen to know what the budget was for that?
It was $85 million.
The budget was $85 million?
Yeah, but it's already made. I looked before we started. globally it's already made 125 million.
Holy
So,
cow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for Sega. I don't think Sega's seeing it. I'm sure someone paid to just use Sonic's likeness.
There is a lot of Sega branding in it, like at the beginning and like the credits and all that. But I'll wait till you see it. Maybe if you see it by next week, we can talk about it because I want to talk all about it and spoil it, but I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I might go see it tomorrow.
Okay.
Go check it out tomorrow. Was it busy when you went in?
It wasn't. It was about half full, but we went on Valentine's. It came out on Valentine's, but I can't believe they released it. That who's gonna, besides us weirdos, are gonna see Sonic on Valentine's Day? And then the second time I went, which was the next day, it was like, what was it, 10:30, so not a good time for a movie like that. There's probably like 20 people in there, but yeah, it wasn't terrible.
I gotta go check it out, man. Do you ever watch the Sonic? I know we talked about that, the animated series.
Oh yeah, I watched the old one all the time with the chili dogs and all that jazz.
Yeah, and the Resistance group.
Yeah.
I just recently watched those, but I like them.
Yeah.
Did you know they ran at the same time too?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? That makes no sense. So I'm just really happy for Sega. Hope they're able to see it. It would be nice to see a comeback like we saw with Capcom.
Yeah.
For Sega. I don't think they'll ever make another console again, but be exciting if they did.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you'll see it sometime this week, and we can also use this as a. I don't want to be appeal to spoil stuff, but we could give a heads up and say we're gonna do that before we start talking about it.
Yeah.
Like if we want to talk about BioShock or something like that.
We could even make a timer.
Yeah.
So that way, because I hate when people are like, spoiler alert, and then you're like, how far ahead do I skip?
Yeah.
Or when do I stop? We could set a timer for like 5 minutes and say.
Yeah, cut it off.
Yeah. I like that idea.
And then another thing I had, we talked a little bit before it came on, but the Halo Nerf they announced.
Yeah.
Which could be super interesting. I don't know if you saw, a lot of people are mocking it online.
Really?
Yeah, because it's Halo and it's not games. I feel like just like the Sonic movie, anytime you do anything that's not game related, then it's a joke. But I think it sounds super interesting, especially it sounds cool even now being almost 30 years old. If I can imagine, like when Halo first came out, I've been all over that.
What's 30 years old?
Me.
Oh, I thought you meant Halo, and I was like, what?
No, it's getting there, though. It's sad.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, they're very exciting, and we talked to you about the Boomco. I think Boomco had better coloring. My friend's little brother was super into those, but I don't think the quality was there. So I think Nerf's going to do some really good. And the Nerf community is huge, and the Nerf modding is huge. So I'm excited to see what people do with the Halo.
Yeah.
Like people put CO2s in them, color them. So it'd be cool to see what kind of noises they could add to them. Just stuff like that would be kind of cool. Are you gonna buy any?
I might. I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see how it looks and then kind of judge from there.
Yeah, my plan was to. I was thinking about decorations for the podcast. My plan was to buy the Needler to put on the wall.
That'd be awesome.
The Boomco version. And from what I can see, it looks like there's two versions for Boomco. One is like where they have the actual needles hanging out the back of it, or you can put your Nerf ammo in there. And I like the Nerf ammo idea.
Yeah.
So was there a Needler for the Nerf version?
All I saw was it said Halo Nerf. Had it actually shown anything?
Yeah, I've seen a few mock-ups of, at least I think, unless they're using the Boomco stuff, but it looked like it was Nerf. Yeah,
all I saw was officially from like Halo's account, like the verified one, just said Halo Nerf, and that was it.
Oh, dude, there's so many things they could do. Helmets, grenades, armor. I hope it takes off for them. I hope we see a bunch of it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, especially all these kids that are so addicted to Fortnite. Maybe get off that a little.
Well, they made Fortnite Nerf guns.
Oh, yeah.
They had the rocket launch. Oh, man. A Spartan laser with like a big Nerf rocket?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'd be sweet. I would be all over that.
Or you could take it next level. It might be a little dangerous, but like a spike grenade. And we throw all the Nerf go flying out.
It'd be fantastic. We could just start giving real guns to kids. I'd be okay with that.
So a couple things. Does it show how long we are on there?
You know, we talked about that in the last podcast.
Oh,
I
did
don't
we?
think so. Yeah.
I feel like that's weird that it doesn't show that. I don't care. I was just curious.
I should probably check, make sure it's still recording.
Okay.
We have the white light up there, but I think that's just a sign that something's using the webcam, not that it's recording. So let me go check. Oh, no. Uh-oh, I just hit a can. It's empty though. Yep, it's still recording. That's exciting. It's still going.
But a couple things that last podcast that I would have talked about or said. Like I said, I feel like we were kind of rushed and we didn't know how it was going to go, and we were terrified about the camera turning off. But I wasn't talking. Yeah. But I feel like we kind of brought it up. But I know you're worried about feeling like we're ripping off certain podcasts or things we enjoy. And I feel like for us, it's never intentional to rip something off. It's that I'd give you the analogy of like liking a comedian. You naturally start making their jokes and like being like their humor or whatever. But I feel like we like Sacred Symbols. We like Giant Bomb. You love Joe Rogan. There's things I love.
Joey Diaz.
That I feel like it's natural for us. Those things, we enjoy them and we enjoy it for a reason. So if we think they're doing well, that those things are naturally going to come through. We're going to bring them up a lot. Not trying to imitate it, but just because that's what you do with things you like, you naturally want to try and do that.
No, 100%. Just usually when I do it, though, I look back a few years and I just cringe. So many times it's happened. When we're on like episode 100 of this show, I'm sure looking back at this right now.
Oh, definitely.
I'll be like, look, what were we doing? Look at this background. Why did we say that?
Yeah, no doubt.
But then by then we'll have millions of dollars to invest in real stuff.
But no, I think it's a good idea to keep that in mind, and I feel we'll bring up these podcasts a lot and reference them. I feel like it's good to have that in mind. That's because those things are we enjoy.
I hear the interference again.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And then I know I started talking about the Unfinished Swan, the game I told you about. Those the people made What Remains of Edith Finch.
Mm-hmm.
It was Giant Sparrow's creator, and the reason I told you how I always heard about the Unfinished Swan, but that's the reason I ended up finding it. I tried to figure out what else Giant Sparrow did because I loved What Remains of Edith Finch so much.
A lot of birds.
Yeah, people bring that up. Yeah.
What? How did I just notice that? I was too tired last episode.
I'm sure there's some deeper meaning, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Especially being an indie studio like that, there's always some messages or whatever.
Yeah.
But I always heard about the game and seemed super interesting, the Unfinished Swan, but I never played it until I played that, and I wanted to see what else they did, and that's the only two games I've ever made.
Really?
Yeah, there's a 5-year gap between them, so I'm really worried the next game's still going to be Edith Finch came out 2 years ago at this point now, so I'm worried that it might still be 3 more years till their next game.
How many people?
They said it fluctuates. They said it started at 3, and then by the end of Edith Finch, it was up to like 15, and it tapers off again. So it sounds like probably just where they're at in the progress of the game, I'm guessing, is how many people they have.
Makes sense.
But you said you haven't seen the Unfinished Swan at all?
No.
It's definitely not as good as Edith Finch, but it's interesting. It starts out, and the entire screen's white. That's all you can see. And then you press a button, and it throws a blot of paint. And then you keep doing that to find your way through the world. You have to keep throwing these paints, and then you'll see that there's a hallway there that you couldn't see because it was all white before. And it's a cool concept, but a little annoying because you have to do that throughout the entire thing to find your way. But then the deeper you get into it, the mechanics become a lot more, and more than just throwing paint everywhere, which does seem cool at first, but gets old. But I feel like it gets more interesting, but by the end of it, it still just doesn't. There's not a whole lot to it. Where Edith Finch, I feel like, I told you, but like I said, I have said on podcasts, I've never played a game that weird, but also that interesting and unique, which is very rare for games now. I feel like we always play the same type of, be like, well, yeah, I played Halo. It's like Call of Duty, or always compare something to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This I can't compare to anything else. It's, like I said, a walking simulator if you want to generalize, but every time I'll try not to spoil anything because I feel like you would love this game if you play it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I feel like you'd be all over it. And it takes like 3 hours to beat, which is also refreshing.
Perfect.
For But with trying not to spoil it all and try and make it sound interesting, you're a girl that goes back to this her old house, and you go back there to figure out why her family members died. But then every time you find a note about their family member dying, it takes you a flashback of how they died. But then,
I've heard of this
yeah,
before.
every time they die, it's a different game genre.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like St. Colin Walking Simulator is really not fair to it, because I've never played anything like that that's that creative and different.
You know why I've heard this before?
Why is that?
Because you've told me this.
I hate you.
No, that wasn't on purpose. I
Uh-oh.
legit thought so. I was like, man, someone
No,
told me
yeah, I
about
know I've
this.
said it, yeah. And I don't want to I want this to be natural podcast and talk about things. That's why I waited to talk about some of these things. But I feel like also it isn't natural to just not say some of these things we talk about, though even if we already had talked about them, because I would love to be able to advertise that game. Not that I think we have a huge audience or anything, but even you, I feel like you would absolutely love that game.
Is it on Xbox?
It's on everything, yeah.
It's on everything.
Even the Switch. But yeah, it came out as $20, so full price is $20, and then I'm sure you can find it on sale. Which people freak out about it being $20 because it's only 3 hours. But then we'll go drop $15 on a movie ticket and not even think about it.
Yeah, or food.
So, yeah.
Fast food now is getting close to that.
And even though it was a 3-hour experience, that's better experience than I've had with so many games I paid $60 for and either didn't keep up with or put a ton of time into. And I'm like, why did I waste all that time? That 3 hours I spent with that, I thought about the game like almost every day, and all these games are $60. I just forget about like instantly.
Yeah.
But they also do a great job they do so many different genres that you'd think that they're forcing things and that wouldn't seem natural and not work, but all of them seem so well done and just are so seamless in the game that it's really interesting.
You know what the Tim Schafer's like game jam or whatever he had?
Yeah.
They would release all of those. I think on Humble Bundle they released all of them. And granted, they were all different games, but for some reason with that documentary and stuff, they all felt like the same game. So it kind of sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. It's talking about the end of the game, but it's not a spoiler. It's just how I feel. The game was so strong, I feel like the ending is kind of predictable and not as creative as the rest of it. That's a little bit of a letdown, but still wasn't not worth playing through it. Kind of like I told you about Lost. I love it so much that the ending doesn't seem as good, but I feel like on its own it's really not that bad. It's just, I've heard some people I talked to that have played it that didn't predict it at all, so maybe you won't. I just thought it was kind of predictable. But if you play it, you should bring it up because I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't mind supporting that either.
Yeah.
Wonder if they ever had go back to this, a physical version though, do you know?
I don't think so. They seem like the kind of developer that would like to do that, but like I said, they're so small that I really don't know if they could.
Yeah.
When the Unfinished Swan came out, they were owned by PlayStation, and they were supposed to make 3 games. So I don't know what happened there because the Unfinished Swan was PlayStation exclusive, but this game's not. So I don't know if they just fell apart or they dropped them or what happened. Because obviously if there was PlayStation, they'd have the money to be able to do that.
Because I still have a gift card for Xbox that you actually gave me.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you, but I feel like you would not regret it, and I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, because I wanted to get a couple games with it. So maybe I'll pick that up, and I've been meaning to pick up Cuphead.
Oh, yeah.
Because I bought Cuphead through Best Buy. Had like little. Did you ever see those? They're really cool. Little cases.
Yeah.
That was cool. You know, there's like coins in them too.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So that's how I picked it up. But my OCD's like, don't open that. I'm like, but I gotta get the game out of there. So now I just want to buy the digital game to keep the physical sealed. I hate this. I hate that I do this with games. It's just so annoying. But it's part of the fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't mind buying Cuphead twice because I know a lot went into that.
Yeah, that was another thing that I felt like we didn't really get to talk about last episode. You were saying how you feel so strongly about that, and you were saying how I was talking about how when I miss a game, I feel like I really miss out and that I don't want to buy it. I don't know if that came out the right way because you were saying how you love to support developers. I'm the same way. A lot of times I won't even buy used games because I like doing that. But I feel like at a certain point that I'm supporting so many developers and spending so much money that I don't really feel bad doing that, especially because I know their next game, it makes me want to buy it. And also if they put out merchandise or whatever, I'll be all over it. So I feel like in the end, you're supporting even used games. Actually, I ended up starting to do that more because I feel like you're still funneling it through and it's all working its way back in some way to be able to do it.
Well, too, even with the games that come out on Game Pass, Microsoft has to pay them something.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, well, this game did well on Game Pass. Let's get some more of their games up here or keep this game on here longer. So even with digital, I just like messing with physical because I think it's ridiculous. But
no, that's exact example I was going to use. That's it's not that I avoid games because I don't want to spend the money on Game Pass forever. It's exactly that. I feel like it's all getting through some way. Like I haven't heard, but I know they talked about how when games get on PlayStation Plus, they get a huge cut of it. Yeah. And so I'm sure even if I got it that way, they're still making money. And then even if not, it's still, I know it's not a huge deal, but still one more person playing the game and one more active thing they see on their end and still supporting it.
Could be a game you had never known about, and some of these games too have had their multiplayer's been dead.
Yeah.
And then whenever they go on Steam sales or on Game Pass, that's going to inject more players into it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Actually, that's what I was going to say. The same thing. That's actually part of the reason I saw Sonic again. I wanted to see it to hang out with friends. But I have the AMC pass, so Daniel was like, well, you're not spending money on it. And then we thought about it. Well, I'm guaranteed some way they're still getting that money and showing that you're supporting it. There's no way AMC is just giving you free tickets to see Sonic 2 times. So they're still seeing it on their end.
Yeah, I'm sure AMC has to pay your portion.
But, yeah, that's, like I said, a perfect example of Game Pass because Edith Finch, it sounded cool. I told you the person at work recommended it to me. But if they recommended it, I'd be like, that sounds cool, and I probably would have looked it up. And I don't really want to play it, but the fact that it's on Game Pass and just be able to go from there just made it that much easier. I think it is on Game Pass, actually. I think that's how I played it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I did it. So that'd be that much easier if you have Game Pass to be able to do it. And exactly like you said, that's a game I probably would have passed up even though it might have been interesting. But I would have never seen how interesting it was. And then I would have also not gone back to their last game, jump in Swan and look forward to what they did next. So it just fell off completely.
Now, do you think if you would have started with Unfinished Swan, you would have felt differently about it?
I feel like only a little bit. I feel like when it came out, it would have seemed more unique. I still think it's unique. I don't think there's anything really like it, even though it wasn't my favorite. But I feel like the art style they did and the gameplay, there's not really anything like it now. So I don't feel like it's one of those things that doesn't hold up well. I feel like the only thing that hurt it a little bit was I played their next game, and I feel like it's so much better than that. I feel like it's the only way that it's different, but not that it's like outdated or if I played it then it would have been way better.
Yeah, man, you make me want to play these. You ever play Firewatch?
No, I've been curious about that. I've heard mixed things, but it seemed interesting.
Yeah, because when people say these games out loud, I kind of put them over here in this walking simulator part of my mind. So whenever you keep bringing these up, I keep thinking of Firewatch too.
Yeah.
And the Rapture.
Oh yeah. Everybody's gone to Rapture, I think.
Yeah. So it makes me kind of want to play because they're the perfect length.
Yeah.
Ooh, palate cleanser between these million-hour games.
Yeah, that's another thing with Edith Finch. I told you it took like 3 hours, which a lot of people are like, oh, well then you can't spend the money on that. That's worthless. But play Outer Worlds. I play all these massive games, so I don't want those games to go away. Those are completely good, and I'm glad we have them. But also it's nice to be able to sit down and beat a game like you did as a kid and not dedicate a week or your life to it with still being able to complete it and do everything.
Yeah. Which
is another a bonus about Edith Finch. I wouldn't have played it just for this. And it was actually almost a little distracting because I like the game so much, but the achievements, there's only like 10 of them, and they're 100 points. So I know you like achievements like I do. So It's a easy achievement game too, which is an added bonus.
I'm going to have to try this out, man. I'm going to have to get back on Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's on there. I don't know why I didn't think of that when I first said it, but I feel like that's why I tried it, because it wasn't Game Pass.
In a game that short, the download time is no time.
Oh, yeah, it was nothing. I feel like it was like 8 gigabytes or something, if that.
I feel like I have very fine amount of free time recently. And updates and downloads kill me. Oh, I hate it.
I told you, I feel like that's one of my... It is nice not having to put in disc and not digging through things, but I feel like that's the biggest thing, that the downloaded games just always have the updates ready to go, so I'm not just sitting there as soon as I'm excited to start a game up. I know disc versions can do that, but they seem to not work, or you have to have it in a disc drive to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's it, man.
I feel like we just keep going, but then I feel like I'm just talking away and won't shut up about Edith Finch, because I want everybody to try it. Did I tell you Danielle was yelling at me because she sounds like a salesman every time somebody's around?
Yeah, you're telling me that.
Uh-huh. But like I said, that's literally how somebody sold me on playing it, so I want to do the same. And kind of like we talked about, even if you're not paying, that's a way to support it, because if you keep talking to people, like he played on Game Pass too, and then just spreads and more people are doing it.
Yeah, man, I'll have to try it out.
Okay, well, hopefully you can by next episode. I know it's a lot of by next episode, so if you don't do all this, I understand, but...
I will be a homeowner by next episode.
That's right.
Very scary. I've also noticed as a homeowner, you become a lot more judgier of people. Like, if I was renting this house, I wouldn't care. I was looking out my window, and the people next to us are kind of got a hoarder situation going on. I've just been judged. It's weird. It's weird on the house, or... I'm in a constant state of, like, anxiety here recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, the pipes are going to burst. But it's also kind of exciting at the same time. But I'm judging my neighbors a lot. Like, I'm like, what do they look like? What do their cars look like? If I try to resell this house, why don't they clean up their mess? This is going to bring... It's just weird. I don't like it. But I like it a lot at the same time. So next episode, I'll be a homeowner. It might have played Edith Finch. Who knows?
That'd be a good, relaxing game. Oh.
Before next episode.
That'd be kind of fitting for Edith Finch.
Spoilers.
No, I just said everybody dies, I remember.
Oh, no. Spoilers.
That actually would be a easy, relaxing game in between all that, if you could play something where it's without committing too much and be able to just kind of sit there and play it without committing too much to it.
I could watch or play The Witcher, judge my neighbors, and then calm down with the Edith Finch.
There you go. A game about death. All right. Well, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it, man.
Did you have any questions with hashtag strong opinion you want out there in the world?
Oh, yeah. Let's finish off with a question to see if you made it to the end of this episode, which I'm sure none of you have. What's a good question? Should we do the last one since no one answered it?
Do it.
Do you prefer physical... See, I thought the last episode I said it like a stroke victim. And I thought for sure, okay, I have it prepared this time. Okay, so if you prefer physical or digital, let us know in the comments.
All right. Hashtag strong opinion.
Hashtag strong opinions. Or if something sounds weird that you don't like on the podcast, or if it's a weird noise, or Casey's too loud, or the camera did this, or the mic did this, let us know.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're complete amateurs. Clearly.
I would say we're getting better, but I feel there's more issues this time. But I guess it's part of doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's more fixing the issues from last time that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Like the video quality and the mono and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you can do that, and you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Current Backlog. Or you can email us. I didn't say that last time.
We do have an email.
At thecurrentbackloggers@gmail.com. And you can also give all your awful feedback that way, too, about how great we're doing.
Yeah. Only positive feedback.
We'll delete everything else.
That's right. Also, go follow us on Instagram. Let's get our first real... I think all of our followers are either friends or fake accounts.
There is that McKay guy that I don't think is related to Ryan.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I thought it was like his brother or something.
It might be, but he doesn't follow me, so I feel like if he followed our podcast, that'd be odd. But maybe it is.
Maybe we have someone out there that's listening that we don't know. Which is weird to think about because I think of this as only our friends and family listening. I couldn't. If that's another one. If you're listening to this and you don't know us, could you leave a comment? Just because that's gonna be weird.
Hashtag strong opinion.
I doubt anybody made the name of this one for that. Ryan's just gonna make another account and just say he's that person. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna stop rambling. Promise.
All right, me too.